Hey everyone, welcome to 14-Day Pilot Flight Academy. I'm Gamal Guyardi, your flight instructor today. We are at the AATD FAA approved PFC simulator. Today we're gonna fly .6. I'm going to show you how the multi-engine airplane works, and if you're a private pilot or you're a commercial pilot and working on your multi, then hopefully this will be a good reference to study, and let's see how we works on this airplane. So that will be Beechcraft Duchess BE-76, and two engines, of course, with the non-critical engine on this airplane because the propeller is counter-rotating. Okay, then this engine is really good on the flight, reliable, and I have flown for couple hours on this airplane, maybe 3 or 4 hours. But I really like this airplane. Previously, I flew Seminole, I flew Twin Comanche, but I think that Duchess is easier to handle, right? So in multi-engine training, what you need to do is you have to be very precise, expect prepare everything earlier. It's not like single engine. In single engine, you can fly whatever you like, rough flying and sudden change of the flight controls. Like you want to bang, you can suddenly bang pitch. But in a multi-engine, the instructor and the examiner will expect you to fly smooth, okay, and then yeah, anticipate before. So you cannot fly rough, but you need to prepare and plan ahead what you're going to do, especially for your add-on. If your instrument rating, then you will have your single engine instrument rating approach. Could be ILS and or could be VOR. Then also for the multi-engine, you need to act faster. You cannot be slow on this airplane because multi-engine is really dangerous plane. It's better for you to not touch the multi-engine airplane if you're not proficient. Okay, especially when the engine failure, when it happens after the takeoff. Then if you late to have response to secure the airplane, okay, to do the memory attempt, the procedures, then that will be a huge trouble for you. A lot of crashes because the pilot is late. They were late to anticipate, like doing all the power um, forward, okay, like make your prop throttle full forward and then flaps up, gear up, identify, maintain directional control, fly the blue line stuff, and then get the climb rate as soon as possible. So that's really tough. Okay, then I want you to really good on the procedures when you jump into the airplane. Normally, for the commercial add-on, it's only like 5 days training. In 40-day pilot, we have 5 days commercial multi add-on. It's not hard. It's just all the procedures, and you have to memorize all the speed. We have all the speed stuff here, like what is the rotation, what is the VMC, VA. Okay, you have to memorize it, nail it, because when you fly the big jets, you're gonna do as well like that. And the other things is all the maneuvers. Okay, we know that in the multi-engine you will demonstrate the landings, of course, like short field landing. There's no soft field, but they expect you to land soft and short if you can, right? So in the maneuvers, you have to know what is the steep turn procedures, slow flight procedures, then power off stall. We have all the summary here and the power off, power on stall, what they're gonna do here. Just always remember how to practice this. Ask your friend, ask your instructor. Normally, the instructor will read it to you, like power reaches to 15-inch manifold pressure, flap stand, speed below 140, gear down. Put your hand there until the green light all on. Then you can remove your hand to anticipate gear pump stock. Then you have to recycle it, right? And then what else? Like airspeed 120, that's flaps 20. Airspeed 110, flaps 30. Stabilize the airplane at 70 knots. Why 70 knots? Because 70 knots is 10 knots from the VSO, that is stall speed with dirty configuration. Okay, and then you do the maneuver. So you have to memorize all of this, be your second nature. You have to do chair flying as much as you can, and that's it. All right. You demonstrate you can fly traffic pattern, maneuver to the training area. That's pretty much straightforward check ride. So today, let's start. Then I have a checklist here. So this simulator has two panels, but I cover it up one because I'm the MEI. Let's say I'm become your MEI. Then I normally the airplane they don't have this panel. Okay, as the MEI, then you have to just like the other single engine, you have to take a look at that side unless you're flying like Caravan or sorry, it's not Caravan, like maybe Baron with customized panel, require two crews like Citation, King Air. Normally they have two panels. All right. So let's start. This is the cool and dark cockpit. Let's assume that we have done the exterior summary checklist. Now we're gonna start the engine, then let's do the checklist. All right. I don't- so emergency exteriors, tools, so circuit breakers, all in. Here the circuit breaker over here. You can take a look. Let me give it to you. So that's a circuit breaker. All right. I can pull one thing. Landing gear. This is landing gear. That's a CV. Stuck it in. What else? Circuit breakers, avionics off, autopilot off, carb heat off, cowl flaps open, beacon on. Let's see it. Okay. So we talk about this avionics. That avionic master off, cowl flaps, autopilot. We don't use autopilot. Carb heat off, cowl flaps is open, beacon is on. Then I put a beacon. There's no beacon here, but alright. Beacon on. First engine start. So we're gonna start. Let's say we start the right engine first. In Dutchess we have two engines and two doors. Like Seminole or Comanche, it's just like Piper characteristic. It only has one door. But now let's start on the right engine first. So mixture reach, prop high RPM. Okay, throttle quarter inch. Brake set. I set a brake there. Prop clear. Prop clear. And then the battery is on. Alternator. So that's alternator. Fuel pumps on. Number two. All right, start number two. Did you change the throttle? Okay, good. Engine number two, start. Oil pressure check. So oil pressure is in the green. Then alternator, right alternator. There's a load here, and fault lights is on. So let's start the other engine. Actually, you can start engine number one first. Okay. So mixture full. Make sure the fuel selector is on. Prop high RPM throttle. Is stuck. Oh no. Okay, let me put RPM 1000 RPM first. All right, so throttle quarter inch. Start number one. In a multi-airplane, they don't usually use the key, but the magnetos is button. Okay, so this simulator is generic simulator. This doesn't matter. Okay, so engine one start, check oil pressure green, and then we put alternator. Then no lights there. It means good because when you turn it off, there's a light. It means the alternator doesn't charging. Okay, and we are on the landings. Landing lights, we are on the runway, I mean, nav on. Okay, make sure as required because you have to lean it. Now, we already done the checklist for engine start. What you need to make sure that you can control this to throttle, okay? Then you will see there's manifold pressure here. There are two needles on this gauge, and then the other one is RPM left, RPM right. So you got two RPM left and right here. Okay? Make sure that you can sync the prop because in big propeller airplane they use auto prop sync. They use a slave and a motor to sync the propeller, but in Dutchess they don't have prop sync, so you manually sync the throttles. All right, avionics on. Then you have all the radios. Pre-taxi avionic on transponder put on the standby. We set VFR. Taxi light. You don't need taxi light. All right. Good. And fuel pumps on. Heading to compass. We have HSI, so you don't really need that because there's a slave indicator. I'm gonna set to VOR. Then I set to tower. All right. Then let's let's put the course on the runway heading 163. And like usual, you have heading back here. All right. So run up. Like a single engine, you need run up trim. Trim for takeoff, flight control. You check the flight control just like normal single engine airplane. It's bring the RPM to 2200 RPM. So we are looking to this RPM. You have to do one by one. So left engine first, right? Left engine first, 2000 RPM. Let's do prop cycle to check the governor. That's good. Now, the prop cycle to check that's the propeller governor stuff. We do check for 3 times. RPM drop, and then let's check the oil pressure rising is drop, and the manifold pressure drop. Okay, and then magnetos check, left engine, right on the left, good. So in the magnetos check, you're gonna say left for left, right for left engine. And then let's check the other things is feather test. I'm going to test feather. Okay, put it back. Just to make sure that the airplane can be feathered later, okay? Okay, oil pressure, all good. Let's put it back to 1000. Then we put the second engine to 2200. Cycle the prop. Okay, let's check the prop, okay? RPM drop. So you swing this down, right? You swing the right lever down, then we were gonna check oil press. Oil press drop because the oil entered to the governor. Sorry, the oil entered propeller hub, and then the other things is your manifold pressure must be higher. Yeah, it's moving slowly. Then we're gonna check left or right. Drop in range, right for right, drop in range. And oil pressure all time, all good. And the other one is we check the feather test. All right. Feather test means you want to change the blade to be almost 90 degrees to reduce the drag during engine failure. Now the checklist done. Pre-takeoff, flap zero, frost high RPM, mixture best power, fuel pump is on, heading to compass 1616, landing lights on, times note, okay, times is 11:20. So let's do the normal takeoff and we're gonna do maybe short field takeoff, okay? Short field takeoff, I'm gonna set. All right, that's fine. We will show you the first normal takeoff first, but we're gonna do static takeoff, okay? Just center line, put all the brakes on, maximum power, engine must be stabilized, all, then we release the brake and we take off. Our rotation speed today is 71 knots. On this airplane, all the weight almost same, so it's not air transport category that has different takeoff speed on each weight. So the takeoff speed is calculated based on your maximum gross weight. Okay, let's move a little bit. All right, let me call the tower. Van Nuys Tower, Dutchess 1-5 uniform at Charlie 1-6 right. Request right crossing departure 4500 to training area.
Farmer 1-5 uniform, Van Nuys Tower, clear for takeoff, runway 16 right, cleared for right crosswind 4500.
Right crossing departure is approved. Runway 16 right, clear for takeoff. Dutchess 1-5 uniform. Okay. Takeoff checklist done. Make sure to drop forward. Everything good. Verify when we're heading. So we put power slowly. Don't stress the engine. Maximum. Hold the brake. All green. Brake release. Speed is alive. Rotate. Positive rate of climb, runway not fallible, gear up. So when you put the gear up, make sure that your hand is be there until the red light, the transit light off. Then put your hand back to the throttle, okay? And trim the airplane. Just reduce the yoke slowly. Your VY is 85, so try to pitch to VY and maintain the heading. Make sure that you climb more than the blue line, that blue radial, I mean, because that blue radial, that will be your VYSE or your safety speed when the engine is failed. Alright, then we're gonna turn 1000 feet, sink the prop. Make sure that you sink and set the 25 and 25. Reduce the manifold pressure 25 and RPM 25. Then sink the engine, okay? Because if you are not sinking the engine, you will hear the pulsating engine like wong 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 like that. So it's not good. A lot of asymmetric thrust. So we try our best to put 25, 25, 25 in here. All right. So what you're gonna do now is your climb checklist. Airspeed 100. We got 100 there. Full throttles. We don't need full throttles. Prop 25, 25 check. Fuel pumps off. When you put the fuel pump off, put your hand there because if you realize after you put the pump off and the engine draft, it means your engine driven pump is failed. Then you need to always turn on the fuel pumps and you will land as soon as possible. Okay, just remember, hold there 5 seconds and then you can let it go. So we're climbing to 4500. Continue the checklist. Cold flaps opened. Taxi landing lights. Landing lights. We still all right. Landing lights off. That's fine. Then remember manifold pressure. Every 1,000 feet you will lose 1 inch. So you put another forward throttle to put it back to 25. Okay, we're gonna fly to Simi Valley in California. So that's all. Always maintain 100 knots. Maintain the heading. Okay. If you guys have any question, just send a question there. We also have a program for multi-engine introduction course in Jakarta, Indonesia, special for commercial pilot who already own single engine commercial. Then you guys can do a demonstration. So we are 100 feet to go. Okay, set the pitch down just slowly and reduce the power, maybe 23, just a little bit, because you don't level with the decreasing of power. I prefer just put it down 1 inch and trim the airplane because we're flying VFR, right? Good, 45. Okay, fly a little bit to the right. We are at Simi Valley area. Okay, in multi-engine airplane is pretty much really nice maneuver because you don't have left turning tendencies so much with twin engines operating. Okay, let's stabilize the airplane first. How to stabilize? Just like flying the single engine, just release, hand off the yoke, then you will see how the tendency of the airplane. If it goes up, just trim a little bit. Okay, slowly, nice and gentle. Don't rough with the airplane, especially when you fly the multi. Okay, let's see your airspeed. We are cruising now. Cruise checklist. Throttles. I will put at 20, 21, 22. That's fine. Mixture as required. 25, 25. Oh, sorry, 25. And RPM is 25. And the throttles is 20, 21. Okay, if you see the speed is going higher, I can reduce a little bit to 19, just enough to make sure the airspeed is not goes higher, and also because you are a little bit descending. So I just put the nose up. The character is almost the same with the single engine. Now let's try to bang, do a clearing turn, bang 30. You see that how it descending so fast because it lose the vertical component of lift. Then you have to immediate compensate with the push, pull back the yoke. Get it 500 feet per minute and coming back 90 degrees, set back and clearing turn to the left. Remember, when you turn more than 20 degrees, then you may need back pressure to give more more lift, okay? Because there is a horizontal component of lift. Can you see the ball? In a multi-engine, when you turn, the ball is pretty much center. You don't have to maintain your ball like usual. Okay, so see that? That's Simi Valley area. I know it's a little bit harder to fly in the sim, but it's pretty much straightforward to do all the maneuvers. Okay, we gonna do steep turn. So let's put the heading here is roughly westerly, 4500, and the target speed is 110. Commercial standard steep turn is 50 degrees. So I'm gonna reduce just enough power to bring 45 and 110. And on the multi-engine steep turn, it's easier for you to control that with the VSI. Okay, so let's do steep turn on the right, on the left. We already done the clearing turn, 45 and speed over there. Bang 30, applying back pressure because your VSI is dropped. Hold there, add a little bit of power, and roll out. Speed is good. The altimeter altitude is good. Now right turn. Compensate with back pressure. Add 10% of power. You can put it on 21. Make a correction if your altitude is going down. Add a little bit of power. Watch the PSI. Hold it. 30 degrees. Roll out. So 45. Back to the west heading. Speed is over there. So that's the commercial standard. If you pass like 100, just make a corrective action. Okay. So that's how we do commercial steep turn. Plus and minus 50 on the altitude, plus and minus 10 on the airspeed. So we have done very well. Remember, on your check ride, if you little bit past the 50, aware, just do corrective action, all right? And the trick is always do the scanning outside, inside, integrated scanning. Inside, you're looking for your airspeed and you're looking for the VSI. When your airspeed is raising, it means you're descending. It's absolutely like that. So I always split my attention to the VSI and also I split attention to my airspeed. So when my airspeed needle stay there, it's perfect. I mean, you are not climbing, you are not descending, and you look for the VSI because the multi-engine, the VSI will react really good. I mean, I know that that's a laggard indicator, but you can use that as your reference. Okay, add a little bit of power. If you already push really hard, you trim the airplane, but it's still showing like that. So you're gonna do add a little bit of power and you will see maybe 1 inch. You will see the airplane will stabilize at the altitude you want. All right, so let's turn back to the east heading. SoCal approach Dutchess 1-5 uniform.
Duchess 1-5 Super Uniform radar contact.
November 1-5 uniform. Your Dutchess BE 76 slash Golf 4500 training area. Request traffic advisory.
November 1-5 Uniform. Traffic is clear. Squawk 7654.
Squawk 75 correction 7654 November 1-5 uniform. Traffic advisor is really important for you, especially when you're flying twin engine and the traffic area. So we always want SoCal to give you traffic advisory. It's not flight following, just traffic advisory. All right, now let's do to the second maneuver. We have slow flight here. Slow flight. It's really slow. It's just 10 knots. Okay, 10 knots from the VSO. The first thing you need to do is reduce manifold pressure to 15. We maintain ease heading. 15 manifold pressure, flaps down, flaps down. Okay, and then speed below 140. You have to say that. Put the gear down. Put your hand there until the red lights become all greens. Maintain your headings. Speed 120, flaps 20, propeller full. Speed 110, flaps 30. Then we're gonna stabilize at 70 knots. 4500, 70 knots, heading east. 80 knots. Just add tiny bit of power and don't forget to trim the airplane. Then 70. Add the power. Now we're gonna do climbing 500 feet per minute, bang 15. So that's a drill. Climbing, add power, maintain 70. I want to set bang 15, 70 knots, 500 feet per minute. You feel it, trim the airplane. Okay, nice and smooth. Not more than 500, not more than 15 degrees. So that's 15 degrees of 70 knots. Put 70 knots just in the middle and look outside. Okay, you level. Now the drill is you just level 70. Now right turn heading 15 and descending 500 feet per minute. Just reduce just enough power to put the speed at 70 while you go for 500 feet per minute. Bang is 15. Okay, bang is 15. Then you're gonna do this until your examiner say, okay, that's fine. Okay, the point is, I want you to control how the airspeed becomes 70. Okay, 70 knots, and not more than 500 feet. Do a correction and bang 15. Okay, so that's a drill 4500. We're back. Now, how to recover? Okay, how to recover? Maximum power, slowly maximum power, and set the flaps first. Maximum power, flaps first, positive rate. Okay, we accelerate, positive, gear up. When put the gear, put your hand there. Okay, accelerate, flaps 10. After 80, flaps 10. Then 100 knots, flaps up. So that's how we recover flaps, and then you accelerate, gear up, and then flaps after the 80 flaps, after the 100 flaps up. Then we turn back. Okay, so that's the task of slow flight. Normally after the slow flight, you're gonna do the power of stall, but for the power of stall, I will show you in the multi-engine training intro. Also the VMC. So after this, we're gonna do simulated engine fail. Okay. This airplane has no critical engine. What is critical engine? Critical engine is the engine whose its failures will most adversely affect the aircraft performance and handling characteristic. That critical engine. Normally on the left engine, because the turning of the propeller is almost is same to the right from the cockpit, then you will learn about the multi-engine aerodynamic. There's a difference on the arm, and that will give you left turning tendencies, okay, as an additional to the asymmetric thrust. All right, we're climbing to 5,000 just in case we need altitude. All right, stabilize the airplane. Okay, so during the training, you will require to to demonstrate how the simulated engine failure and the real engine failure. The examiner will turn off your engine, normally your left engine, and you need to do a restart. What you're gonna do is you have to read the checklist. Okay, for the single engine, normally they will close the throttle, one idle. Okay, in this case, you can see on my engine. Okay, over there. So when suddenly you left engine down, your instructor will cut the power like that. You will feel the yaw. You will feel the yaw, and you yaw to the left. What you're gonna do is mixture, prop, throttle, full forward, flaps up, gear up. Identify. You know you will swing to the left, so it's left engine up. So verify that you identify, right? Verify. Of course, close the throttles, left engine, and that foot that engine. You don't kick. Okay, you don't kick the left engine. Then mixture. Sorry, prop and mixture. When you simulate it, okay, you just say that it verify. You close the throttles one by one and see. When you close that, make sure that you don't hear any weird sound because normally people made a wrong action. They close the working engine. That's crazy, right? And then if you don't have altitude, they want to see that you can feather the airplane. You close the prop and simulate mixture. That's on the simulation. Then what you're gonna do, maintain your directional control and bring the airspeed indicator to the blue radial because that your VYXE. Then you need to bang. Okay, you need to bang no more than 5 degrees. Okay, just put it 5 degrees back, and the ball here, not in the center. If you're not kick the right rudder, is going right like that. So you give a little bit pressure, make it half of the cage. Then you will work, maintain directional control, and put the needle to the blue line. Okay, this simulate the partial loss. So we lost the vacuum, and you don't have this. You have to look outside. But the mission now, trim the airplane. I know that's heavy. See that? The most important part, how to bring this needle to the blue line, and you still get your climb rate. Because in the single engine, if the weather is really hot, you have very less dense air, then it's really hard for you to get a climb rate. But for now, I can maintain 5,000. Then on this situation, 5,000 blue line, then the ball in the middle of the cage. Okay, then you have to demonstrate your maneuver: turn left, turn right. Okay, so that's a single engine. Okay, now how to recover? Of course, you read the checklist, single engine. You read the checklist here, how to secure the engine. Okay, let's say you're gonna do a feather. Okay, what you're gonna do is, I assume this is a real emergency. Then I cut the mixture, so we are under real emergency now. Let's see. See that? So I already feathered the prop. So my left engine is die. I will close the fuel selector to off. Fuel pump is off. Okay, and then magnetos is off. Alternator is off. Okay, then that will be my drill. I will turn it on because the radio shut it down. Now I will maintain whatever it takes. Bring the plane back to the blue line. So this is the setup of feathering. Okay, the prop now is feather, and I can still maintain, and cowl flaps is closed. Just remember, the idea of the single engine is we want to eliminate all the drag. It's really heavy. Now it's always 10 to fly to the dead engine. That's why we have to raise the dead. Okay, raise the dead. It means we bring the dead engine 5 degrees on the bank. Okay, to avoid the zero side slip. The zero to avoid side slip. I mean, so sorry. Then that technique will be called a zero side slip. Okay, because the side slip is really a lot of drags and you're gonna lose all your performance. In twin engine, you lose one engine, you lose 50% of power, but you lose 80% of your performance. What is the performance? Performance means your climb rate. So now, in this case, after I stabilize, I manage that, then I can call for emergency, then we can demonstrate how to do air restart. To do air restart, we have to read the checklist. There's a checklist here. Meanwhile, you have to maintain raise the dead, ball, half the cage, okay, and maintain 5,000. That's how you have to divide your attention. Air restart. Okay, fuel selectors on, mixture on, okay, and fuel pumps on. Number one. Okay, I will put this on both. There are several types of air restart procedures on the twin. In the Duchess, it depends whether you have unfeathering accumulator or not. In Duchess, you have dome air pressure and the counterweight system of your propeller. So how to do that is you put the propeller on the forward position, just everything in the checklist. Okay, full forward, and we gonna descend throttles quarter inch. We're gonna descend and get a speed 110 knots because with the 110 knots you will have counterweight works and the propeller will move, will crank the starter engine, the starter, and will give you your engine back. Make sure the fuel selector is good, cold flap is still, mixture full. Okay, but in this simulator, I need to crank the airplane just like the airplane without the accumulator. Now it's going, it's back. What you're gonna do is see my throttle. I will equalize. Put the throttle on number two down and engine left number one up. Equalize it. Okay. And what I'm gonna do is I reduce the right throttles. Why? Because it already works so hard and the cylinder head temperature is pretty much higher while the left engine is low. So this just like another simulated single engine because I need to burn and I open the cold flaps. I need to heat the engine maximum on the left engine. Now it's just like I failed the right engine for just for a while, and after that I put it back together. See that? I put it together. So to avoid the asymmetrical thrust, I reduce. Okay, I do it one more time. In this position, I reduce the left and I put the right on. There you go. Then you have your engine back. Okay. Now we're gonna do a landings. There's an airport there. I'll call that Camario. Okay. Now we're gonna descend. Let's descend to 3,000. Okay, that's the warning of the landing gear. So whenever your throttles at 12-inch manifold pressure or your flaps at 2 knots of the flaps, let's say flap 20, and this airplane is flaps, when the flaps to 16 degrees and you don't lower the gear, okay, there will be a switch to trigger the landing gear horn. That's a safety stuff. Camarillo Tower, November, Duchess November 1-5 uniform with information Papa, Conejo Grade 3000 inbound.
November 1-5 uniform. Which airport would you like to land at?
Camarillo Tower, November 1-5 uniform 3000 information Papa, Conejo Grade inbound.
November 1-5 uniform. Expect ILS for runway.
November 1-5 uniform negative, your inbound VFR.
Alright, November 1-5 uniform. Turn heading 210.
Heading to 10, 1-5 uniform.
November 1-5 uniform. Report runway inside.
We'll report on runway inside November 1-5 uniform. Camarillo Tower 1-5 uniform, we have runway inside trailing runway 26.
November 1-5 uniform. Camarillo Tower. Roger. Clear to land runway 26.
Clear to land on runway 26, November 1-5 uniform. Okay, landing clearance is obtained, then landing checklist. Okay. Remember GUMS checklist, generator, mixture full, fuel pumps on, fuel selector is good, fuel tank, we still have fuel, and prop full forward, speed below 140, put the gear down. Put your hand there, gears down, wait until 3 greens, that's 3 greens, speed below 120, set the flaps. Okay, this is also the drill, remember, flaps 120, you can put the flaps 20, flaps 110, you can put the flaps 30. So just look inside and look outside. Alright, I'll put the camera there, you can see that. So the technique of flying multi-engine, everything must be smooth. When you apply the throttles, must be very gentle, little by little. What is your landing speed is 76, but I want you to maintain at least above the blue line before you land. Short final, make sure prop full forward, make sure 3 greens here. You have 3 greens, landing gear is down. Add some power, you don't want to below the blue line just in case you have engine failure here. We can go to the runway full down, full flaps, I mean. Okay, and pitch down, add some power, put the power at 19 manifold pressure. Your approach speed will be blue line plus 10, roughly 95. Then when you above the fence, just drag down to 76, just in the middle between red and blue line. Reduce a little bit of power, so your power will be, your airspeed will be in the middle of that side. So take a look outside. We have this, we have a threshold there. Short final landing gears is down. Over the fans. Reduce the power just little. Okay, little bit power reduce and start flare. All right. So we land the airplane. And we exit from the next taxiway. Camarillo Ground, Duchess 15 uniform, vacating the runway, taxi to the restaurant. Alright. Well, that's it, guys. That's for the good intro, how we work in the multi-engine. Everything is the procedures. Then I'm gonna teach you the better and the most challenging part in our multi-engine intro course with this simulator. We gonna do a ground for the basic aerodynamic of the multi, and also how to fly the multi based on the procedures to prepare you for the track ride. Especially for you who never get a chance to fly the multi-engine, or maybe you're a multi-engine rated pilot but it has been a while since you're flying, then I believe this will refresh you and give you great experience. Thank you very much, and go to www 14day pilot flight academy 14daypilot.com, I mean. Then there will be a program called multi-engine intro course that you can join. I will become your flight instructors and give you a great experience on this. Thank you very much for watching. Share this video and subscribe if you like it, and safe flight.